Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at Tampa Honda. So the Honda Passport originally was made all the way back when I graduated from high school, 1994. And it was produced from 94 and 2002. Then it's a... Well, guess what? Times have changed since 2002. The SUV market is ablaze, and Honda has decided to bring back this very popular name badge into the SUV segment. And what we're going to see with this 2020 Passport is that it really is going to fill a gap in Honda's lineup. So sweet. It just hits that sweet spot. Let's go ahead, dive right into this all-new 2020 Honda Passport. I love the styling. Right off the bat, I like what they did. They were smart. Black out the grille and then have the headlights here like this. Really gives it a much more aggressive look and separates it from the Ridgeline and the Honda Pilot and everything. Now what's wonderful, I mentioned Pilot, is that this thing is smaller than the Pilot, but on the inside, there's more room. And it actually has more ground clearance than the Pilot. So that's what's crazy about it. But love the styling, the gloss black. I think it was very smart. This is gonna be their SUV, especially to go towards those younger crowds where they're going mountain biking, they're going kayaking. I think it was smart to go with the flat black on most of the bumper. There is a little bit of gloss, but most of this is flat black. This is gonna take heating, especially when you're going down the highway and whatnot. One thing, if I am going to zonk the front of it, is I'm not really digging this style for the grille. I wish they would have went with a little bit different design. I do like black, but just the openings in it, it's not really working for me. Now, if you've ever wondered, hey, is it just my eyes or are Honda badges getting larger and larger? It's not just you, it's everybody. The Honda badge is getting larger. The reason why is all that great Honda sensing technology with adaptive cruise control and everything is all hidden, tucked away, sound asleep behind the big old H there on the front of this Honda Passport. Another thing I really love as we transition to the side is I like the way the flat black is brought into where you're gonna find your fog lamps and your running lights, and then just a very nice texture material. I really think it was smart the way that Honda went with what they used. Up onto the hood, some very distinctive body lines. One thing I want to point out, it's not just about the outer line, but I really like this smaller V section here. It ties it in nicely with the Honda Accord. The hood on the Accord has a very similar design feature to give it more personality, because at the end of the day, this thing is going up against some big guns, especially from another Japanese car company, Subaru. Let's continue down the side. Really thought it was smart. They took that flat black, brought it around the wheel arch here. Beautiful wheels. When Christian pulled up with this Passport, it actually quite surprised me. You have this like gunmetal gray finish, 20-inch wheel. Style, it's simplistic, but it works. I think that you don't want this to be too complicated on this particular car. I think it really works. 19-inch wheel with the white. As we continue down the side, here's some nice touches. Gloss black paint on the mirror. You have a very small, look how small it is, turn signal, LED turn signal built into it. If I'm gonna zonk it, I would like to see a little bit more of this beautiful black paint on the mirror, but you know what, at the end of the day, this will definitely take a beating from rocks and bugs and chips, from chips from forming on that. What I really think was extra smart is not only did they give you the rails up top, the cross rails, but they also gave you the crossbars on top of that. That's going to allow you to put whatever you can muster onto the roof of this Passport, take it down that trail road, take it far distances, and you're going to be wonderful, comfortable, and in a beautiful style package. Like the way they brought the ABS plastic all the way around, down the side, good shape to the doors, and it has a very nice height to it. It's not as cumbersome looking as the Honda Pilot, and that's what I really like about this Passport. To finish it off, this rear quarter window reminds me of something off of a Land Rover, like a Land Rover Discovery or something like that. I like the shape, and I like the way they went with a larger size. You'll see when we go inside, it's really going to just lighten everything up and make it look so spacious, even more spacious than what it is. And then to wrap it off out back, you have a very nice roof spoiler that comes off just enough. I love the actual lines on the back, and I think it was once again smart of Honda. Bring some of that black ABS plastic from the front, from the sides to the tail. They brought it to the lower portion of the bumper, which I also think was extra smart because it gives it a more aggressive look. And man, somebody must be listening to me. Not only are there dual exhausts, but they're chrome tipped. Everything looks finished. A nice finished cohesive package. You can see that this one's that touring trim, so it's not the top, but it's still gonna have a lot of goodies because it's near that top, and you'll see once we get inside. But let's go ahead and check out underneath the hood and see what's powering the all-new 2020 Passport. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood. First, taking a peek of the new 2020 Passport. There is that engine. What you're looking at is a V6. So that is what has surprised some people, is that Honda decided to go that V6 route. So you have a 3.5 liter V6, 280 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque. This one is mated not to a CVT. It's that German-made ZF 9-speed transmission. You'll see when we take you inside, it's all push-button gear selection. If you're wondering, hey, what can I tow with this new Passport? You're looking around 5,000 pounds can be towed. But like I said, from an engine standpoint, 280 horsepower, this thing is more powerful than a Pilot, and it has more cargo space than a Pilot. So really, really nice the way that they were able to take all that and bring it into the Passport. And I think that's one of the many reasons why this is going to be a hit. Let's go ahead and fire her up. All right, guys, here we are inside the all-new 2020 Passport. Remember, last time we've been in one was all the way back in 2002. Where were you back in 2002? Let's start with the door panels. Lots of black, but it's tasteful. I like the leather material on the armrest. It goes all the way around that door pull there. I think it was smart of Honda to add a little bit of silver to the door opening handle, and also the gloss black has a nice finish, and it's not too much to where you're going to fingerprint the heck out of it. As we transition into the side, nice soft material. From the top of this door all the way to the dash, Honda's really hitting the nail on the head with the softer material, more of the gloss black. Over here it's okay. You're going to notice the Sea Gloss Black may upset some of the perfectionists out there that like to keep their cars clean because it's going to collect a lot of dust and really show the fingerprints. But I really am digging this center stack with the infotainment screen. Now, when we go for a drive, I'm curious, because if you look at the angle of the infotainment screen, it's not angled in a very good way to prevent sunlight from hitting it. So I'm going to be curious about washout, but you can see that this has navigation. I'll go ahead and hit the home button. Nice clear fonts, very easy to navigate through. I like the way it's got that swipe feature just like your cell phone. You could also go through your apps that way if you want as well. But I think that's a very, very nice touch. Volume knob, so all you acoustic perfectionists out there can fine tune it like a grand piano. Very nicely done. Dual climate control. I really like what Honda's doing with their dual climate control in the center here. The buttons are very easy to use, very easy to navigate. With the blower motor, you got real simple. You toggle up and down. What do you want your temperature to be? I think it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Here's where we're going to zonk. Heated seats only. So right now, it's pretty warm here in Florida. I don't want heated seats. No AC seats. There's a weird cubby here, and I'm not so sure what you could put here because it doesn't feel deep enough for a full-size cell phone. So I'm a little curious about what you would actually put here. As you drop down, you have a nice place for your cell phone. You have all your power outlets that you need. Very nicely done. And then here's what I was telling you about. Lots of gloss black here. Looks good, but you can see somebody's going to give me a fingerprint test in about 5 seconds after we're done filming, and they don't even need my finger because there's plenty of prints here. You have nice dual cup holders, and then here's the talk of the town. This push button, select shift, 9-speed, park, reverse, neutral, drive, also puts you in sport. And then, of course, you could shut off that annoying where your engine automatically turns off when you're sitting at lights and whatnot. You can see there's an extra control for normal or snow conditions. This is front-wheel drive. You can get it all-wheel drive. Get ready to get your mind blown. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. I slide this back, very deep area, especially it surprised me because it's not very tall. So I wasn't expecting it to be so open in here, but lots of room. You got more power outlets in there for whatever you need to charge or to power. Very smart. Look at that. This is what I'm talking about. How can something like a sliding tray make me happy? It does, because it's not going to fall out, and if you don't need it, you just slide it out of the way, and then it's got a very nice cover. Now, when it comes to the seats, I love them, but there's something I don't like about them. So I love the style of them. They're very comfortable. I love the perforations and the design. I wish they were cooled, but we already mentioned that. The one thing I'm going to zonk about these chairs is that they're a captain style chair. I don't like this. I don't like this armrest. It works, I guess. You know, you go like this, you ratchet it up, and then you put it back down. I kind of miss the armrest real simple here in the center, because when I see this, it makes me think of like a motorhome or like those old style Astro vans and stuff like that had captain's chairs. But you know, it's got a ratcheting style to it, which is kind of cool. So you could lower it, and if you want to raise it, then you could raise it into a different position. But why don't you come on over to the driver's side of things, and there's some nice surprise over here. So come on over to the business side. All right, guys, business time, 2020 Passport. Both the driver and the passenger is going to get full power seats. That's a very nice feature to have, so you can fine tune it to your body. I'm going to go out and buy a lotto ticket. This is my second review this week, and look, the old-fashioned e-brake. So you don't have to worry about pushing a button. You're going to use your good old foot to put on the e-brake, and that's a nice feature that I haven't seen in cars for such a long time, but yet they're making a comeback. Who knows, maybe more cars will have manual transmissions. Fingers crossed. Steering wheel. Like the shape, I wish it was a little thicker, but I like the style of the wheel. Very nicely done with just a little bit of gloss black, not too much. I want it to have those nice thumb wheels. Other Hondas have it, like the Accord. Why can't the Passport have it? It has these other types of almost like video game, almost like a Game Boy. If you had a Game Boy back when you were a kid, or maybe you still got it now, this is what the buttons feel like. But check out the dash. Honda really keeps up in the game on not only the style of the instrumentation, but the quality of the graphics. You can see that we're in park. You got the tachometer across the top there, which is really cool. You have a good old-fashioned analog temperature gauge and a fuel gauge. And then obviously, if you want to scroll through different features, it's real simple. You could go into your trip computer. There it is. I do wish that we had the thumb drive though. That really would make it a lot easier. This car is going to have the full suite of all that Honda sensing technology that's going to keep you safe, like adaptive cruise control. 6 feet tall, even with the sunroof, plenty of headroom. If I'm going to zonk the sunroof, I would like a panoramic, especially at this grade level. Now, if you're wondering about price on this all-new Pilot, this one comes in right at an MSRP of $40,000 the way that you see it. So for $40,000, I would like a little bit more glass in my sunroof. But let's go ahead and check out the back seat, because I'm telling you, there's some amazing things happening. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, back seat time of the 2020 Passport. Let's go ahead and start off with the door panels, just like up front. A lot of dark colored material, but you know what? It feels good and it looks nice. It looks very upscale, nice leather type material on the armrest. Love the way they have 2 cup holders on both doors. So now you can have plenty of drinks for everybody and they're not going to complain. Fingers crossed. Speaking of complaining, you're not going to complain about the AC controls. I love it. As soon as I open up the door, I love that little control center back here for your passengers. They can make it colder, they can make it warmer. They don't have to be like, can you make it warmer? I'm freezing back here. You say, hey, do it yourself. That sounds good to me. You have your power sources as well, both USB and that home AC style outlet. Here's something that really surprised me. Normally I see these on Audis and BMWs and stuff. Nice little sunshade. So even though we got the windows tinted, it's nice to have that extra security, that extra blocking of the light. They slide right down, very nice. Another nice feature is we have the armrests. Very nice soft leather material. 2 cup holders. So do the math. 2, 4, 6. 6 drinks, 3 people. That's a lot of drinks for your people back here. You ready for the big surprise? Watch this. You could actually slide easy 1, 2, 3 this back seat. So if you have more junk in the cargo area and you need those kids to suck it up and move the seat up, you can. Nice feature. And then the seats themselves, just like up front, nice soft leather. I love the design. I wish they would have used this in some of their other Honda products, especially when you look at the backs of the seats, finished all in leather. Speaking of back, let's go way back. No, not back in time. Let's go check out the cargo area. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, time to get into the back of the Passport. Do you need a Passport? No, all you need is the key fob on you. It's all keyless entry, so you push the button, open sesame, there she goes, and then there's the wonderful layout of all the space. And just to show you how much you could put back here, I'm gonna go ahead and take some of this stuff out because there's a lot of stuff back here, obviously, when the vehicle gets shipped and all that. But right off the bat, even with the seats fully up and all the way back, tons of room. Remember, there's more space inside this Passport than the Pilot. How did Honda do it? I don't think they're gonna tell us. It's one of those things, if they tell us, then they have to kill us. Here's a wonderful feature. So you have some power sources here. You got a nice little cubby area for whatever you want to throw in here. Watch this. You hit the button, boom, seat goes down. You thought one was enough? Check this out. Boom, other seat goes down. So that's gonna give you so much usability to get stuff in and out. Here's what I love about Honda. This is some of the things I love. Nice little storage compartment underneath. You can hide some things away from the kids if you don't want them to see. There's wonderful hooks back here. You could put a cargo net and hold those other things in there. Just wonderful, the amount of room and what you could do. The opening to the back of this Passport is just unbelievable. It's like the doors to a castle. That's how big it is and how much stuff you could put in the back of the Passport. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take this one for a spin. Hey guys, we just left Tampa Honda. We are in the 2020 Passport. Right off the bat, you're gonna have to recondition yourself to put this car into drive, neutral, reverse, or any of that, because it's all that push button style. I immediately came down for a shifter to put into gear. But once you get to learn the lay of the land, so to speak, it's very quite simple. What it does is it frees up this whole area. That's another thing I'm trying to wrap my mind around, is that since there's no armrest, it really just, there's a big empty space here. But I guess the good news is that there's more space for you. It's got a really nice frameless auto dimming mirror, not sold on the angle of the infotainment screen. I'm a little concerned about how much glare you're gonna get when you're driving during sunny conditions. I wish that there was a way they could have relocated that a little bit differently. I do like the layout, like I said earlier, the AC controls. Steering is great, telescoping, tilting, gauge layout is so easy to understand and to go through. So that's a really nice feature, and it shows all the information you want. You got the digital speedometer smack dab in the center. It tells me I'm in drive. If you hit that drive selector button again, it puts it into sport. Once you're in sport, that's gonna change up how that 9-speed, because remember, this has that German-made ZF 9-speed, is going to go through its gears, and you can use the paddles, because there's paddles on the back of the steering wheel. They are plastic. They're on the medium-sized side, which is a good size, believe it or not. But overall, it's up to you. I would just leave it in drive and just let the transmission do the work, because I've been in some other cars that have the 9-speed, and it shifts so nicely. When it comes to interior features, here's something that you're not going to see on a lot of cars. So this is where you would put your sunglasses. But what's funny is that they actually have, there's Big Guns McGee.
Here I am.
Hey guys. They actually have this mirror here so that you can look behind you without actually having to look behind you and turn your head. So that's just a nice little thing that Honda does, their little engineering. Love the material of the dash, and I like the way the dash is on the lower side. It's not too high, which is very comforting to see out the front. Seeing out the back is a snap, and obviously side to side is real simple. Not 100% sold. Tom is okay with the captain's chairs. I'm not 100% sold on this little tiny armrest. You can ratchet it like I showed you earlier, but I just wish I had a bigger piece of real estate to lay my arm. But you know, Honda says this is better, so I guess we need to listen to them. Let me go ahead as we're pulling away from this light. Transmission is so smooth, very smooth. You barely even feel the shifts in it. You're gonna get great fuel economy in here. Let's see what it feels like over the railroad tracks. Trafficy day today. Let me switch lanes. Step on the gas, drops down, and we're off. So once you get going, that V6, that 3.5 liter V6 starts to put on the steam and you get moving. I don't know if you heard, but it gets a little buzzy. When you lay down on the loud pedal, where the sound's coming from is not from the exhaust, it's coming from underneath the hood. So it's a little bit on the loud buzzy side, but if you're not flooring it to pass somebody, it's very, very quiet and very smooth. I'm gonna see if I can get some space here to check out the handling. Brakes feel good. Let me tip it in a little quick right hand bend here on the gas. Drops down. Shifts are crisp and quick, and you get moving very quickly in this car. So nice to have the oomph. And this is where I think Honda is going to hit the nail on the head compared to, say, one of their competitors, Subaru. Subaru, with those naturally aspirated boxer engines, don't have the oomph to really get you going quickly. And I'm not talking about entering your passport in a drag race competition, but when you want to merge or you want to get out of somebody's way or get out of your own way, it's nice to have the oomph to get you moving. And for sure, in the Passport, compared to a Forester, for example, this one has definitely got the go juice when you get on that gas pedal. But just like any other Honda, very quiet in the cabin. I wish there was that panoramic sunroof. I think that would be nice, especially because of all the dark material. But other than that, looking out over the hood, visibility's great. Over the bumps, things are good. You got all the information that you need exactly where you want it to be. All right, guys, from a dead stop, I'm rolling on the loud pedal. It pulls nicely. It drops down really nicely. The only problem is the buzzing from the engine. It gets really buzzy, and I wish there was a way to acoustically handle that coming from the front of the vehicle, because it isn't really pleasing to the ears by any means. And I'm not trying to say this thing needs to sound like a V8 or something in a Corvette, but it just, you know, a little bit of different sound would go a long way. But at the end of the day, how many people, like I said, are going to be racing their Passports? Maybe you're trying to be the first one to put your kayak in the water. I could see that happening. But other than that, you're going to be just taking it nonchalant, just like we are right now. One thing that I've noticed that I really like is when I looked over to my passenger side, when a car was passing me, it showed me that, you know, blind spot monitoring actually lit up on the inside. Thank you. Why does that light need to be on the outside of the outside edge of the side mirror? I've always been confused by that. It's nice to just have it placed on the corners, right by those front corner windows, and it was really easy to see and detect that somebody was in my blind spot. When it comes to blind spots, not too bad. Really, they were able to move those pillars out of the way, so that was nicely done. And smart of Honda, especially when you're driving an SUV. All right, guys, making a U-turn. Want to check out how easy that is? A breeze. The turning radius on this is really great. So if you're down in a very heavy city area and you got to parallel park or get through some tight spaces, even though this is bigger than the CR-V, it's still going to be a breeze to navigate. And you know, I can't recommend enough seeing Christian getting down to Tampa Honda and taking one of these Passports for a drive, because it's gonna surprise you. Really, really, just all the safety features, and like I was telling Tom, slots in perfectly into Honda's lineup. CR-V, Pilot, where you're only two ways you could go. With this, it's a nice in-between, and I really like it over the CR-V a lot more. And the Pilot, I've never really been into, just because it's too big, and they're quite pricey. But at an MSRP of around 40, it's doable. And remember, there are lower trim levels, or you could even go a little higher if you wanted to. Just depends on your needs. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up and head back to Tampa Honda, and we'll move on to the next review. We'll see you real soon. So give us 1 second. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful day here at Tampa Honda. Definitely got to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Christian and everybody here at the dealership. Open up the doors, give Raiti's Rides full access, and if you're ever in this Tampa area and you're looking for a Honda, definitely see Christian. If these are the types of cars you like to see on Raiti's Rides, all new SUVs brought back from the dead, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family, the team. I appreciate your support. Make sure you check out my other forms of social media. You know all the names. All original Raiti's Rides content all the time. If you're looking to help promote the channel and support the channel, get yourself some merch. How do you do it? Click that link in the description. Takes you right to Spreadshirt. And then, of course, we can't forget Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner. He's liking this Passport. He loves Hondas, but he also loves his muscles and muscle cars just as much, even more. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.